want a good viewpoint into Terrell's mindset and what he's seeing when he looks through the charts, we need to let him go through it one good time. We're going to have plenty of time for questions. Trust me. We're going to have a whole Q&A session, but let's let him run through market structure real quick. Just remember, everybody learns differently, and some people really need to hear this from point A to point B to point C without the interruption and flow. Because if you don't know how to get from A to B to C, you know, people are jumping to Z or X or Y, and then coming back, people really aren't going to be very specific on what the actual steps are. So I understand both sides. Everybody wants to ask questions, and guess what? We have a session just for questions. So that's going to happen regardless. You are going to get your questions in. So we just want a steady flow from point A to B. All right. So it's not meant towards anyone. Like I was the same way when I first started learning this stuff. I couldn't get enough of it. And I had a million questions as well. So I completely understand that. Completely. And if you see Terrell, come on, let me know. Oh, here he is, so I can make him a host again. All right, so Terrell, you're unmuted and you're co-host. So many people just want to see you go from point A to point B with a good flow, and then we're just going to unmute everybody and let them get back into the interaction. So do you mind, let me stop sharing. Just like going through a good flow from A to B real quick, how to run through the market structure, what you're looking for.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, let's get this thing. Everybody, I know everybody talking about how they are, having trouble keeping up. So I'm gonna just, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark up some pairs. Honestly, I'm gonna just be honest with you all. Like I don't teach with the whole like no noise in the background, like no questions and stuff like that, because I don't like talking to myself all the time. But I do understand like the being sidetracked, everybody asking about questions that has nothing to do with what we talking about. So let's go about what I actually do when I go into marking up with certain pairs, and I'll just talk out loud, whatever. So let's go to a pair that I'm looking at GJ, right? So what I typically do is I start at my monthly, and when I start at my monthly, again, I'm boxing price in. So just based off me boxing price in, just like that. This is literally all I do on my monthly. I don't get too complicated. I get people all the time telling me where I didn't want to go back. I didn't know how far I should go back. It's not about how far you go back. It's about the high and the lower price. This is current price. This is the low of it. This is the high of it. Plain and simple, right? So now, remember, I told you all from the weekly down, I'm looking for, what am I looking for again? Throw it in the chat. From the weekly down, what am I looking for? This is something you all should have wrote down. Trend. Yeah, my trend, right? So from the weekly down, I'm looking for my trend. Pull it back up. I have a downtrend. The eye should see downtrend, right? On the overall. Now, some people may have looked at that and said, well, I see uptrend. You do see an uptrend, but look at the overall picture. Remember, we on a weekly time frame. So we have lower time frames down to where we can get a clear picture of that overall picture, right? So I drop down. And before I even drop down, I want to explain this to you all, right? The market moves, impulse, flag, continuation, flag, continuation, flag, continuation. Guess what? Flag, right? So understand where we're currently at based on my weekly time frame. I'm in a weekly flag, right? So I know in the back of my head, possible that a continuation can come soon. So I go drop down to my daily, right there, boom. Impulse, flag, continuation. Doesn't this look a lot like gold? As a matter of fact, I got right here, right? This could be one or two things. This could be a flag for a continuation, or this can be one big consolidation, just like we got here, for a drop down, right? So I know at some point I'm looking for a flag. Just like this, I got that flag. I know I'm looking for this flag. Minimum, I know I'm looking for this. If not the overall downtrend continuation. Because remember, based on my higher time frame, which is my weekly, I'm in the overall what? Downtrend, right? So I have that in the back of my head. Let me delete this. All right, so deleting this. So I see current price. Now, that's not the key because remember, I don't trade off of the daily. I just let the daily and everything deter me of what I'm actually looking for. So in the back of my head, I'm personally looking for a sale. Because remember, just like I got this flag on the daily, guess what? I'm looking for something similar to the same thing, another flag, right? Because I know it's due. I know it has to happen. Why do I know that? Because the market moves and post flag continuation, no matter the pair, no matter the time frame. So I don't see a specific trend on my 4 hours. So guess what? No biggie. I don't go to, I don't complain because I don't see a trend. I just go to a smaller time frame because now I see more within a smaller time frame. But again, I don't see a specific trend here either. But what I do see is this consolidation. Now, this where it comes to, this comes to like the more advanced area. So in me saying this consolidation, right, and I'm expecting sale, what does this say? This alert has been sitting here, ideal entry. This is the area that I'm actually looking to enter the market on. Honestly, all of this, ugly. You want to stay out of this, right? Because price could literally, like again, this could be a flag for a continuation to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm literally only watching price here. This is the only place I'm looking for. If price get up to this area right here, right, and I start seeing it do what? If I start seeing it ascend, that's when I'll actually start to look for that actual sale. If I'm just seeing it impulse, flag, continuation, flag, continuation up there, I'm staying out of it. Because it could easily, what? Shoot back up to the upside, right? It can easily shoot up to here or whatever the case may be. But again, I'm expecting sale because understanding the higher time frames are more, they're stronger. They're more confirmation. And my higher time frame tells me what? That my flag is due. Just like my flag is due here, I know this is due here. I mean, just like I had that flag here, I know I got to have this flag here. Not to mention on the overall, what's my overall trend? My overall trend is a what? Downtrend, remember? So if I look left based on my higher time frame, I can just tell I'm in a specific zone. This zone here, something happens in this zone every time. Came here, shot up, 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 could possibly shoot up again. I don't know. So I just sit back and wait. I'm expecting sale due to market structure, but yeah, I'm expecting sale because of market structure, but also I understand that this is in an area that is showing in the past it's been a demand zone. So if this demand zone is showing me that price could shoot up. Not expecting that based off of what I see on my daily though, right? So I know it's a zone in itself. That's why it's continuously consolidating right here. So I just look at things like that. Give me 1 second.
Hey, Terrell, just to let you know.
Yeah. Any questions on that?
Yeah, we did give everybody the opportunity to. We gave everybody the opportunity to unmute, and they're gonna ask questions or interact as accordingly.
Unmute to answer the interact. Any questions at the? When someone has background, can we stay muted? Do you replace alert at 1 hour or a 5 minute? Do I replace alerts? A question down for Q&A. I don't think you can. Do I replace it? Do you place alert on 1 hour or now I get the question. I place the alerts on the 1 hour time frame. Nah, Gigi, I can't hear you. I don't hear nobody talking. I didn't know y'all was even talking. I don't hear nobody. Everybody sounds muted, I guess. Should I unmute you, Gigi?
Can you hear me?
Oh, everybody else can hear you? Okay. I didn't even know Zoom can do that. Okay, cool. So should I stop talking while y'all talking, or since y'all, what should I do, Gigi? Yeah, I can't hear. Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't hear nobody. So if anybody else outside of Gigi is talking as well, I can't hear.
Can you hear me, Terrell?
Can I log back out and in? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna log out and log back in.
Terrell, you're fine.
Hold on, give me 1 minute.
We can hear you, Terrell.
Can't hear us.
He can't hear. So like if you're asking them, what is this? And you want them to say a trend line or downtrend or whatever, they can do that. But like the questions, we're going to ask at the Q&A part.
Okay,
Yes,
no,
that should be
that's
good
cool.
now.
That's cool. That's cool.
Just whenever you're ready for questions, you stop and say any questions.
Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. All right, we can definitely do that. All right, so did that make sense for that GJ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that's pretty much how I look at that. Let's go look at something. Somebody else got a recommendation as far as pair. I usually don't ask for recommendations, but I feel like
Jen.
GN. Oh, look, y'all talking about. They're like, oh, GN. So GN was
Want to
actually
do something that's not GBP, try EA after that.
no, it's cool. So I was actually looking at GN for the sale, right? So let's start from the bottom, from the top and work our way down. So remember, our monthly, we just looking for the high and the low, right? So we look, boom, that's the lower current price. What is this?
The high.
The high, right? Why is that the high? Because just look, wicked out here. This may not seem like a long time ago, but this was last year, October, right? So you look at this right here, looking left, this is just an area of resistance. It just was hard for it to break this area. So that's why I consider that the high, not this, or not, especially not this, right? So that's all I do. Drop down to the weekly. What am I looking for from my weekly down?
Trend line.
Overall trend.
Overall trend.
So trends. From here on out, it's trends. Oh, matter of fact, I just gave y'all the answer. What type of trend am I in?
An uptrend.
Y'all some cheaters, man. Right? So uptrend, right? Now, how does the market move?
Impulse.
Correction, continuation.
What's that?
Impulse.
What's that?
Flag.
This?
Continuation.
It's kind of weird, but when it's all said and done, this is a flag, an overall pullback of this, and then it created a double top. So this is kind of like what you would think of as a double top, or you can even say it's a continuation, however you want to put it, right? So in the back of my head, what am I looking for right now?
Buys.
For
sale.
Exactly. A sale, because this was, if I considered this a continuation, right, I got to get a flag. Not just that, if I consider this a double top, right, I need a flag, correct? I'm getting a drop. The double top is a confirmation for a drop, correct? Double bottom, confirmation for a buy, right? So remember, I'm on the weekly, so I don't go off just that. What, on my daily time frame, what type of trend do I currently see?
Uptrend.
Uptrend, right? Boom. Just like that, right? So flag, possible flag, right? That's what I have in the back of my head. So could possibly be looking for a continuation. I don't trade off of the daily, so I have this in the back of my head, right? So as I drop down to the 4 hour, now what do I see? Can anybody tell me?
A flag.
Yeah, looks like a possible flag, right? Possible flag. But again, just like GJ, like GBP pairs overall, all of them period are very ugly, right? So with that being said, you have this high. Matter of fact, let me just skip to the 1 hour because you don't have a specific trend. So I'm personally looking for a sell on this because I know overall, based on my higher time frame, and which is AKA what? What is my higher time frame?
Monthly, weekly, daily.
Right. Stronger confirmation time frames, right?
Yes.
So with that being said, my higher time frame is telling me I'm looking for a sell. And when I say higher, I mean bi-weekly. My daily is telling me I'm possibly looking for a buy. So with this, and I'll actually show you, I'm not just talking out the side of my mouth, but with this right here, this is an impulse. Looks like a flag that's forming, right?
Yes.
So it looks like a flag. Look like we begin a continuation to the upside, at least up to this area. So because I'm not looking at GN I'm biased on the sell, but I do understand it's a possible buy as well. What am I currently doing as a trader?
Waiting for the move.
Are you gonna wait?
For the buy.
Right. I'm just not gonna trade it. It's like it's not a great opportunity for me. So I'm gonna show you all, go to my Telegram. Not sure how many people like keep up with it or anything like that. With my Telegram, but I specifically talked about GN 2 days ago, maybe. I think it was. Let's go all the way to the bottom. One second. Yeah. So right here, right? So I got possible, watch for sale. So this is my notes. Here's why GN is not clear. Matter of fact, let me start at the beginning. Same with GN. However, I don't like GN as much as I like EN. GN not as clear. And then I gave an example. I don't only tell you something, I tell you why I say it, right? That's like, and I send you a picture with it because that's what's going to get you all to start really understanding, not just what, like, to get your reading skills better. I don't care about that. I want you all to physically understand what do I mean when I say I'm looking for it. So one thing I always tell people to do is when I put out a chart on the Telegram, look at the time frame. Because I'm consistently going back and forth in time frames. This one was on the 15-minute. So I'm showing you how we can get a flag and it can shoot up to here, right? And then look for the sell because I was on the 15. But then I was showing you overall on the 1 hour how, let me read this first. Not clear on GN, this and that. Then I showed you on the 1 hour, right? Sent you a screenshot on the 1 hour of what I was looking for. Then I showed you, boom, boom, possibility. I said, well, also watch for sale here because it could be an impulse and this could be the flag, right? Then I explained it right after. Here's why GN not clear. At the bottom of the channel, although expect sale, still possible to head to the top channel. Just FYI, I only trade, cleaner. I would just trade the cleaner setup, especially dealing with GBPs. Who knows what can happen? But again, I'm expecting NZD to get a strong NZD overall. Meaning, if I get a strong NZD, that's going to push GN down. So I'm still expecting to sell, but I also know because right now the pound is very strong, it could actually push it back up. So guess what? It gave us that impulse. This was the area I was talking about, possible flag. And then what did it do? Shot out of that because remember, it's in this overall channel right here. This overall, let me take this. This whole thing is an overall channel right here. And all it's doing is just going back and forth, just like that, right? Because it's just going back and forth. I knew that big news impulse, some people got nervous by that, and Gigi actually hit me up about, she was like, see, it just only went, look where it went to. I'm like, yeah, it only came back to the bottom of this channel. That's it. So this buy is still very well possible for the overall move to the upside. But as you can see, it's heading back to this high right here, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And well, I'll just wait because I kind of feel like I'm giving you all, I'm like kind of confusing you all as well as far as asking for questions and stuff like that. And then for whatever reason, you know, it's just one big thing as far as people asking about other stuff, and you know what I'm saying? But I just want to make sure that the structure part of this makes sense to you all, because like literally this is the part that you all really need to know. So as we can all see with GN coming into the week, I'm expecting price to buy. I'm expecting price to shoot up some more. Now EN, a little more clearer for me at the time, and I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna kind of run through my markup here. So, oh yeah, matter of fact, let me go back to GM before I even do that. I want to show you all this. Understand that I'm biased on the sale overall, because on my weekly, I'm in an uptrend, but once the eyes really start training, you start understanding this entire uptrend is, can somebody tell me what this uptrend is?
A flag.
A
A flag.
There you
flag.
go. Look at the pattern. That's a whole flag there from this impulsive move. So right now, I'm literally at the top of my flag right here. So eventually, guess what? We're going to get this big drop. Right? So that's why I'm biased on the sale, because I know even if we don't get this huge drop all the way down here, this at least has to come to continue off of this uptrend right here. So this at least has to come. And then maybe it'll drop here and then come back up here again, drop, come back up. Who knows, right? But the point is, it's like it's clearly showing me this is a high. So we may get one more push up, or I'm looking like, as a trader, you want to look at all scenarios and you want to let the market tell you what it's about to do and just react to it. You don't want to guess. So I'm looking at all scenarios, but I can tell based off of my stronger time frame that I'm in an overall flag from the get-go. So once this thing decides to drop, let's say the monthly decides to push the drop, because look, big impulsive move, huge flag, eventually we're going to get that monthly continuation. We can always dictate what's going to happen, just never win. That's it. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, guys, when he's saying to expect it to happen, something on the weekly time frame ain't going to happen in a day or two. This is looking forward at
Right.
the overall structure on a higher time frame. A weekly flag, like if you get a weekly impulse to the downside, it's going to take a while to make that correction, because your impulse happens fast and your correction is a lot slower.
Yep. Plain and simple. That's it. So with that being said, going to EN. Based off of EN, what should I be looking for? And I'm only on a monthly. Can somebody tell me?
Buy.
Oh, my bad.
Sell.
Tell me why you, the one person who said buy, tell me why you say buy. The other person tell me sell, who just said sell. Tell me why you say sell.
I say sell because you're at the top of the high, that's where the highs are, where the price has been dropping.
Okay. The person who said buy, tell me why I'm looking for a buy. Just one.
Because I see a flag, a possible flag.
Flag where? Right here?
No, at where it's forming a flag right at the end. It's starting to form one.
Talk about, oh, you talking about this? And
Yeah.
then, I understand it, but that's not correct. But I understand what you're trying to say. But yeah, that's not, like, you have to remember this the monthly time frame. This is
Okay.
really just one candle. You know what I'm saying? On a monthly time frame. So you can't really dictate. You have to have a impulse. I would have rather you said because of this and then this, even though I don't see this still, but this is more clear because this whole thing is a pattern, right? You can't really dictate a pattern based off of one candle on a monthly. Does that make sense?
Consolidation.
What's that?
I see consolidation on the monthly.
Right, right. So I guess my point is, don't get too caught up in the monthly. I guess I shouldn't have asked the question, but the person who said sell was right, because remember, all we focused on is this box. And with this box, this is the high of this box, and this is the low. Price is clearly at the high. So don't get too caught up in the candles when it comes to patterns and everything on the monthly time frame. So, and the reason why I asked the question when she said buy and I asked her is because, like, man, like, none of us want to be wrong. So when we find out we're wrong and you tell us why we're wrong, we make sure we take that much more initiative to, okay, I got it, cool, I remember it, right? If I can state why I thought what I thought and then I'm corrected, then I know next time I'm thinking that, you know what, I'm probably that I thought that the last time, and it's like you just learn from your mistakes. So I like people to just like learn from their mistakes. That's all. So nothing wrong with being wrong at all. Like I'm wrong all the time, right? So what type of trend am I in on my weekly? But remember, from the weekly down, I'm looking for trends.
I'm like in an uptrend.
Uptrend.
Uptrend?
Downtrend.
Downtrend?
Uptrend.
Uptrend. There you go. Remember, this EN, we was just on GN. So far, this looks just like it, don't it? You know what I'm saying? So, drop down to my daily. What type of trend am I in?
Up. Uptrend.
Uptrend. There you go. Uptrend, just like that. Multiple touches. Touch, right? Multiple touches. Now, drop down to my actual 4 hour. Can anybody tell me what I'm looking at? What type of trend?
Downtrend.
Down.
There you go. Downtrend. All right? Something that GN did not show me. Did not show me a downtrend. Told you, it's a lot more clearer. Now, drop down to my 1 hour. What am I seeing?
Downtrend.
It's still a downtrend, but
Okay.
we're in a look like a flat, a corrective pattern.
You look like a correction.
Bingo. Bingo. You see that? You see how clear that is over GN? See how much more clear that is? You see this flag? You see this flag? Right? Doesn't this look a lot like, as far as like the pattern wise, all of that sketchy, that scaling up slow, that wicking out? Doesn't that look like a nice flag compared to what we just saw on GN?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Much more clear, a much clearer setup. So I'm expecting price to continue to flag. Then we get this shot to the downside, right? Even if price came just to this level, just to that level alone, from what current price is, it's 250 pips.
Yeah, that's 250.
Exactly. Not to mention, price can go all the way down to this weekly trend line.
That's what it goes for a lot.
Exactly. EN pays.
Terrell, can you explain why you put the trend line at the top going down instead of going up to identify the downtrend?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me delete some of this stuff so I'm not confused on what trend line you're talking about. And I'll just draw another one.
Yeah, your trend line to identify the downtrend. Can you explain why you put it there instead of, like, you know, when you were doing your top-down analysis, like some,
Okay. I got you.
I was thinking it was still an uptrend, but can you just explain it, I guess, for it to be a little bit more clear in my head, why you put the trend line there?
Okay. Yeah, no problem. You talking about this trend line, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what time frame did we put this trend line on right here? Anybody remember?
1 hour.
Nope.
That was the daily.
That was the
Monthly.
weekly. That was the
Wasn't the
weekly.
daily.
The 4
Wasn't the
hour.
weekly
4
either.
hour.
The 4 hour.
4
Exactly. It
hour.
was the 4 hours.
4 hour.
Remember, this is our weekly, right? This one right here, our weekly time frame.
Yes.
So we clearly saw this trend on the weekly, correct?
Yes.
So then I dropped down to the daily. Remember, every time frame has its own story. My daily told me what type of trend was I in.
Uptrend.
Uptrend.
Trend, correct? Exactly. So now the 4 hour, what trend do I see on the 4 hour?
A downtrend.
Downtrend.
Oh,
So,
yeah, over.
right, exactly. And remember, all I'm doing right now with these trend lines, what are my trend lines here for?
To identify.
Find out what the market is
It gives
doing.
you,
Your
it's
trap
giving you
line. I call
direction.
it- Yeah, just think trap line. They're trap
Yeah,
line.
I'm just boxing price in again, taking that little room that you're trapped in and the room is caving. All these trend lines are doing, as I drop down time frames, they're caving in on price to where I'm trapping it in. So right now on my 4 hour, all I did was look at the previous trend, which is this downtrend right here. Now, once I go to my 1 hour, guess what? Price is literally going in what? An uptrend, right? This
Yes.
right here.
Yes, yes,
Can
uptrend.
you see that?
Yes.
Now, I always use the analogy when I'm training my students. Anybody ever played pinball machine game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the pinball machine game, you got a left side like that you can click. You got a right side that you can click to keep knocking the ball up, right? So when you keep knocking the ball up, guess what? The ball is bouncing off of the walls, right? All price is doing from the very beginning is bouncing off of these trend lines, aka these walls. And then eventually, guess what? Guess what price is gonna do? You're gonna, like, how do you lose in pinball machine? In a pinball machine game?
When the ball goes through
The ball go back home.
Exactly. When it goes back under, you lose a life, right? So guess what's losing my life in trading? Not losing my life literally, but guess what happens? Price breaks through the trend line. Once it breaks through the trend line, boom, my trend, now I'm catching the rest of that move because now price is no longer boxed in this area. Does that make sense? So just like price, at one point, this happened, but then guess what? Boom, it broke through that trend line. Just like at one point here, broke through that trend line. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's all I look at. That's all I look at it when, like, I think of when I'm thinking of like trading and post flag continuation and boxing price in with these trend lines. So right now, price literally looks like it could be possibly flagging up for another push, a small push up here, and then we start looking for that sell. That's it. It's much clearer than GN.
Thank you.
I don't know how many of my private students are on here, but they'll tell you the very first lesson in market structure that they have to do is that first week they have to go through 25 pair and mark a trend line on each time frame from your monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, and 1 hour if needed. If you are ever lost in the market and you walk yourself through that and you say it out loud, you will find your place in the market. Just like, and that's how simple it is what he just did. Talk it out to yourself. Say on the weekly, I'm in an uptrend. On the daily, I'm in a downtrend, which means it's a correction of the weekly. Just if you ever get lost, these trend lines, or what we call trap lines, will help you find out exactly where you are.
Exactly. That's it. That is it. And I mean, I personally, because I've been doing it for a while and I'm so consistent with it. Like, I know what trend line. Like, if I'm on my 4 hour time frame, let me go to the 4 hour. All right. Like, I know what trend line is what. I understand this is my weekly trend line. This is my monthly resistance that I had. I know this is my daily trend line. I know this is my 4 hour. I know this is my 1 hour. That's just me. I personally have students who would literally change the colors of their trend lines going down each time frame so they're not confused. Ultimately, I don't care as long as you understand your boxing price in. Does that make sense?
And just think, when it breaks through one level, you just look for support or resistance at the next level.
That's it. That's it. And those are hundreds of pips in between. Somebody said, check my audio.
TG, can you repeat what you just said, please? I'm sorry, Terrell.
Well, and I learned this from Terrell from, being in the boot camps he was in. If you are ever lost in the market, you just start from the monthly down like he just did. And if you want it to really stick, talk to yourself. Say, on the monthly, I'm in an uptrend. On the weekly, I'm in an uptrend. On the daily, I'm in a downtrend. Well, if you know you're in an uptrend on the weekly and a downtrend on the daily, that's just that correction, like he's telling you. You're just identifying, I call them trap lines. You're trapping the market. So just know if you're in a daily and you're going up, but on the weekly you're going down, in the back of your mind, you need to know that daily is a possible correction. And when it gets to that weekly, you could see a reversal back in the overall uptrend, or vice versa.
Exactly. So, I mean, with that being said, I'm not going to tell y'all to tell me. Type in the chat. My question is, do you all understand that? Just type yes or no. Yes or no. No explanation, just yes or no. Good, 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 good. See? That's what okay, cool. That's what that's my biggest thing. I guess in my head, that's why I like the interaction, because I like for people to tell me no, that they don't understand it if they truly don't. But then we get sidetracked and start asking all these other questions. That's what's been throwing everything off. But as long as you all understand it, I'm great with that. Like, that's beautiful. So that's literally all structure is. And I can literally take the same principle, impulse, because that's all we did this whole time. Like, we took it all the way down to the 1 hour. All the way down to this 1 hour, all we did was look at impulse flag continuation. Nothing about the principles of how we trade said anything else. We did not look at anything else, right? All the way through. Like, I understand this is a flag, this is a flag, this is a flag. I'm going backwards, right? Overall, this is a flag happening. So this downtrend is a flag for my daily. That's it. See? Because it's an uptrend. Flag, flag. What's happening now? Flag to the daily, or even possible flag for the actual weekly. But if you also understand, and again, don't want to confuse nobody, so forgive me if this confuses you. Don't get too sidetracked, matter of fact. And make sure ain't nobody saying you.
I think Neil just had an aha moment.
Oh, okay, cool. Right, okay, cool. I'm about to say, please don't tell me, all right, now you confuse me. But yeah, so that's all it is. That's it. All you doing is you're just literally trading impulse flag continuations all the way through from time frame to time frame. The bigger the time frame, the bigger the pips. So if I understand that my higher time frame is creating me a flag, guess what? That higher time frame flag is a smaller time frame trend. And what do we have right now on the smaller time frame? A downtrend. That's it. Oh my God, it just clicked big time for me. Love that. Love that, love that, love that. See, trading is that simple, that easy. Like, no lie, I sit here and I listen to all of these different trainers and quote unquote master educators, and I literally sit here and I just, like, honestly, and I talked to Gigi, I talked to Jamie. I think even me and Grant had a few conversations before. I underestimated myself when it came to this trading stuff because I just wasn't doing it long. I just attached a time to it. Like, I've only been doing it for a year and a half now. It'll be 2 years come January. People tell me all the time, like, bro, you're this good. I'm like, I can't be that good. And I listen to these other trainers, and I'm like, these people get praised, and they're terrible. Like, what they're doing. Like, they're teaching people how to go and catch 20 pips, like 30 pips, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with catching 20, 30 pips, don't get me wrong. But I literally teach people how they can read the overall chart. Like, everything. Like, right now, you all know that you're literally in a EUR NZD downtrend based off of a weekly flag. That's it. Using structure, right? Like, people. I thought somebody said something. But yeah, like, so it's literally that. It's literally this simple. You don't have to master these like, people kill me with these strategies, like strategies. You're trying to find a cheat sheet on what the market is going to do. When this line goes through this EMA and then you see that, then no, like, none of that matters. All I need is my trend lines. That's it. Years wasted. I mean, no, man, just knowledge. That's all. You're just getting better.
But, you know, Terrell, speaking of that, I know, like, some people got really hemmed up on these GBP pairs because some of those people you're talking about were telling them to sell when on the higher time frame it was an overall buy. If you look at GJ, for example, On that daily, they were looking, you see that big downtrend at the bottom?
On the
People
daily?
thought it was going to sell back to the bottom. No, go back to your daily on GJ.
This is the daily.
It might be weekly. Go back. Yeah, go back. Yeah, there it is right there. You see that first big impulse and the correction at the bottom? People thought it was going to sell all the way back down, and I kept telling them it's moving correctively. The one in the middle.
You talking about right here? Oh,
yeah, people were selling. Now, if you look at it on the 4 hour, they were telling them it's an overall downtrend, keep selling. I'm like, guys, y'all better back out to a higher time frame. That's a corrective move.
Wow.
And like there was somebody in a GA or GN, and they were like 300 pips and drawdown the wrong way, and people telling them to hold it. And I'm like, oh Lord Jesus.
Wow. Okay, so look, now I wish I could do it right now, but I'm not even gonna do it. And I can pull up one of my private student videos. Me and him had we had a one-on-one session, literally when I want to say it was around like this, something like that. I want to say it was just like that. And all I did was literally, I said, bro, all you got to do, I mean, look, doesn't this, matter of fact, let me take that off real quick. All right. So what is this? Y'all tell me this. What is this?
Impulse.
What is this?
Impulse.
Flag.
Okay. What's that?
Continuation.
Right. Okay. And at the time, like Gigi just alluded to, you can tell this is setting up for a flag. Look how corrective it is, right? But not only that, again, start using your eyes, start using your knowledge, right? Look at this. All I'm going to do, doesn't this look just like that?
Yep.
Symmetrical.
Yes, it does.
Thursday. And I told him, bro, why would you be looking for a sale? It looks just like it. All you got to do is, you ain't even got to turn your head. Your eyeballs got to go from here to there. It's the exact same thing. Bigger flag. This is a flag, flag. Bigger flag, bigger flag. That's it. At the time, you already know, based off of your higher time frame, where are you at in the market? If I'm on my monthly, where's my monthly trend line at based on my monthly?
You at the bottom.
You at it. You already
You
did.
at it.
What we talking about now? Now, understand. Now, remember, I'm on the weekly. From the weekly down, what am I looking for?
Your trends.
Your trends.
See that trend?
Downtrend.
Let's play. Let's play.
You're about to go to church. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, hey, you think price down on accident now?
Nope.
Wow.
It's not magic. It's market structure.
I mean, it's easy money. It's easy money. How can you mess this stuff up? I look at these quote unquote master traders and I laugh. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, and this is why I really wanted this training. I really appreciate Terrell. I see so many people paying for these boot camps to learn indicators, and they're not training your eyes, and you should be the signal. This man made 6 figures in 7 months with no indicators, no special strategies, just this trend line and knowing where he is in the market. And y'all don't need all that stuff. Don't pay somebody to teach you to use an indicator.
Exactly. All you do is use the indicators for confirmation. That's it. Every blue moon, like, I'm not against indicators. I still have them. All I gotta do is click the template, right? I look at it every now and again. Like, I got RSIs and MACDs, and stuff like that. Right? I've actually been learning something with this MACD lately. So I'm not here to say our indicators don't work, but it kills me when people sit here and literally I don't know. I know we're being recorded too. I'm not gonna like name names, and I'm not gonna say like they don't know what they're doing. You just don't need those things. You don't need that. all you need, like, this is all I need. I can literally, like, and I talked about this a minute ago, because it was mind blowing for me when I first heard it. I went down to South Carolina, spent some time with Gigi, and we drove up to North Carolina. She had a friend on her team who actually did time in jail, and he was trading Forex in jail. Guess what he didn't have? He didn't have indicators. He didn't have none of that. But if he understood market structure based off of the things he did have, all he needed was a pen or a pencil. Pen or a pencil, using market structure, his knowledge, drawing trend lines, boxing price in. He was making money in jail, in the feds. Right? I don't have MACDs and stuff in jail. I wouldn't have had it. So yeah. Anyway, so now, does everybody understand all of that before we get into like Q&A and stuff like that?
Yes.
Truthfully, Terrell, I got the part where you said that you're literally just trading impulse flag correction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got lost. I'm sorry, guys.
No, don't. Hey, you paid your money just like everyone else. Don't.
I'm still trying to get it because I kind of lost it somewhere.
Okay, cool. Look, I'm gonna tell you, like, never apologize for learning, right? Don't, like, never do that. Y'all get out of that. Get out of that right there, because now you're trying to force yourself to get something, and that's when, like, for me, my brain starts scrambling when I get to that point. So never apologize, right? So let's start back where you said you got lost. Say it again.
Okay, you were saying you were literally trading impulse, flag, continuation, and you just kind of went from there, and everybody just seemed to grasp it all while everybody's getting it. I got lost in it.
Okay, cool. So
like, I'm applauding, but I'm like, okay, I'm lost.
Okay, no, it's all good. So this is what we're gonna do. We was on E and we're gonna start back over, right? And this me talking to you. This me and you right now. Don't think it's not everybody else, right? It's me and you. So what do I do on my monthly?
You're gonna box in the price from the high to the low.
Okay, low. What is this? High, correct?
Right.
Okay, cool. What do I do on my weekly?
You are going to draw your trend line, and right now.
What type of trend am I currently
in? We are in a uptrend.
Bingo. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. You ain't agreeing on it just because I put it there, right?
No, I see it.
Okay. Just making sure.
Okay.
All right. What type of trend are we in based on our daily?
Daily. We're still in an uptrend on the daily.
There you go. Boom. All right. Okay. Makes sense so far?
Yes.
All right. So even in this uptrend, how does the market move?
Impulse, correction, continuation.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Now, what time frame am I on?
You are on the 4 hour.
What type of trend do I see on my 4 hour?
I'm still seeing let's see. Downtrend on the 4 hour. If you're
downtrend, right? Exactly. There you go. Downtrend, right?
You don't draw from the wick all the way down?
If the wick is outstanding, look how, like, if I did this, actually I'm on the, let me go from here.
Oh, you would miss all the points.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be a clean trend line. So like if it's all the way up here, I want clean touches all the way through. I want as clean touches as I can get. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So now you still with me?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Drop down 1 hour. Now what do I see based on my 1 hour?
1 hour, if you start from the bottom, you're looking at, I'm seeing a uptrend.
There you go. Now, you see an uptrend on the 1 hour, but on the 4 hour, you see a what trend?
You saw a downtrend.
Okay, so now this 1 hour uptrend is, and what is this?
Impulse.
What is this?
Correction.
What happens after that?
We're looking for continuation.
There you go.
Okay, so what it's gonna do is it's gonna retest that line and then shoot down.
Yeah, that's it. This
Okay.
uptrend, like you got to remember, like every time frame, what happens on one time frame happens on them all, right? So with that being said, all that's happening right now, just like we got this correction, all this is doing is correcting. Right now, our 1 hour time frame is giving us a correction based off of our overall downtrend on our 4 hour. Now, don't forget, just like now, I'm saying our downtrend on the 4 hour. What is our daily in? Our daily time frame in?
What is our daily time frame? I'm sorry.
Yeah. What is our daily trend for our daily? What is our trend line? What is our trend for our daily time frame?
We said we determine an uptrend.
Uptrend, right? And then the uptrend, what does that trend have? Impulse.
Impulse, flag, continuation.
What trend line is this right here that my cursor is currently on?
That's going to be the started on the monthly, the daily.
This is my daily, correct?
Right.
So this here, remember, this is a daily trend line, uptrend, right?
Right.
What is this?
That's an impulse.
No, what I just got highlighted. Remember, I'm in an uptrend.
Right. You're in an uptrend.
Based off my daily. Remember where my cursor is at. This is my daily trend line, right? My daily trend line is in an uptrend. Maybe I'll go to it and give you a better look. Remember that, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. So what is this?
That would be, so that would be the correction.
Exactly.
Flag.
A flag, right?
Right.
What is this what we're currently at?
That's a flag. That's a correction.
There you go. So you see how this daily, this 4 hour downtrend, this move to the downside, we're looking at is a what?
A correction.
Is a daily correction.
That's where I got lost at when you were talking about how the.
Yeah, I know. That's why I try to kind of like try to break it all the way back, going back that way for you. So remember, now not only that, because just like we got this flag for the daily, eventually what else has to flag up?
The weekly.
Exactly. What trend line is this?
That is the daily trend line.
This is the daily.
That's the week.
Yeah. This is the weekly. So just like based off of this weekly uptrend, just like we got this, guess what? We could very well get this.
Okay.
Back to this weekly. Now remember, pinball machine. So what's going to happen is price is going to come down here and it's going to make a decision. Do I want to go back up or do I want to what? Lose a life, aka breakthrough, correction, and then head to that weekly trend line.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Any questions now?
And trust me, like I said, if you do 25 pairs like this every week, you really won't even need to break it down this simple anymore. You see how simple his charts are? That's all you're going to need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Terrell, can you mark up like an index here, US 30? Because it moves at a different speed?
Yeah, I can just go check it out. Now, this is a little different. Not for the most part. I mean, as you all can see, I mean, just based off of what you all looking at. What am I looking at right now? What can I see?
Uptrend.
Trend.
At a high.
Yeah,
Uptrend.
I see
And
uptrend
an
at a high.
ascending channel.
Ascending
And I
channel.
say ascending channel, yeah.
That's all I want to. That's it. That's all I see, right? Like, I don't really get into giving other pairs credit just because it pays better or this and that. Chart is a chart. So I see this ascending pattern. So in the back of my head, I understand, guess what? Eventually, I'm looking for price to shoot all the way down here, right? So I'm going to just throw that out there. But let's go to what we would normally do. Heck, the dang on monthly is ascending, look like. Look at that. All right, so this is current price. This is low. Shoot, heck, we at a resistance level. Ain't no data back here. So we there, right? So price could just continue to keep creating new highs, of course. What type of trend am I in on my weekly?
Uptrend.
Uptrend, right? Is that fair to say right there?
Yes.
All right, so we got this flag, we got that flag. Now we're in a continuation. Guess what has to happen soon?
Flag.
At least a flag here, at least, right? So not sure how to calculate US 30, but well, if it's anything like gold, that's saying that's what, 100 pips? Am I right, Gigi?
Yes, and on a broker like Hugo's Way, it would pay you for like 1,000.
Right, okay.
They just calculate it different.
Right.
So y'all, like he was saying, it moves the same as everything else. It's just they pay you different by broker.
Right, it just pay you different.
Like on FX Choice, it pays you like everything else. On Hugo's Way, they just calculate it different.
Yeah. So with that being said, I understand the flag is due. Heck, not just on my weekly, but also guess what? On my daily. Why do I know a flag is due? Because the market never just goes straight up or straight down. What has this been doing over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 straight days? Pretty much 2 weeks. What has price been doing?
Going up.
Going up.
So guess what? At some point, it has to do what?
Come down.
Fall down.
Correct. It come down.
There you go. I don't care now. How do I know that's happening soon?
You got your ascending channel.
Bingo. Playing it. Look, man, y'all better at this than I am.
Wow.
See how it all adds up? It all adds up. We started at the monthly. We was already thinking sell. We just broke it all the way down to the 1 hour. Just broke it all the way down to the 1 hour. And it shows a clear sale soon. It's just because this pair is so new, it's just creating new highs right now, which is fine. Keep creating new highs.
Like he told you guys, look for those engulfing candles. You don't see any yet. It's making that ascending channel, so you don't see a clear indication of a sale yet.
Right. There you go. Now, what am I looking at on my 5-minute? Now, remember, I'm inside this ascending channel, right? So I'm inside this ascending channel. What's this?
Impulse.
Impulse. Flag.
Continuation.
Continuation.
Flag.
Flag.
Flag. Continuation.
Exactly. So what could possibly be happening right now could be creating a flag.
Flag.
There you go. That's it. It's just gonna create a new high. That's it. There's no special sauce. There's no special words. There's not a secret ingredients. Like, I'm not smarter than you all. Like, nothing. I'm gonna just tell you what put me over the top from mostly everybody that I personally know from when I first started. Because I didn't just start by myself last year, January. I started with at least maybe 1,000. The entire company came over to the industry of trading. And out of the entire company that came over with me, guess who learned how to trade?
You.
Yours truly.
You did.
And it's not because I did anything special. I just never gave up. I didn't quit. I saw the potential of what this could do. So guess what I did? Because I knew it was based off of my efforts and no one else's. I knew I can control that. I knew I can control my efforts. So I decided to put the effort in to go learn the skill set. I got the mentor. I wouldn't somebody who did it even better than me, Gigi. Gigi would not, she don't take no for an answer when it comes to her learning this skill set. Not that I ever told her no, or anybody ever told her no, but the point is, you can tell Gigi wanted to know. When I first met Gigi, I met her here in Chicago. She flew all the way to Chicago just to come to an event that I had, that my mentor came to. She came here. We all had dinner. This and that. Like, asking questions. That's what I'm saying. If you on here and you don't understand something, I'm mad at you for like pretending you understand it. We talking about your life here. Why wouldn't you want? You paid your hard-earned money. Why wouldn't you want to know? Why wouldn't you ask your questions? Right? So eventually, just like we got that drop to the downside of this descending channel or this ascending channel, just like we got that, guess what? We're at least gonna get this. Remember, this only the 5 minute. How much money in this? Like, I don't trade US 30 like that for the most part. I traded it twice. Just playing around with it. Like, I took 2 cents, like $400. That was nuts. But with that being said, like, I can only imagine how much money this is just with from here to here. And I'm on a 5 minute time frame. What is my 1 hour telling me? I'm expecting something like this. I'm expecting that big of a drop. At least, minimal. Hey, don't go back to the higher time frames, right? We can, heck, come back all the way down here if it came down to it.
Recession money right there.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. All good?
Yes, so Terrell, somebody's asking about supply and demand. I was explaining to them, y'all, those vertical lines where he's boxing in the high and the low, that's all that is. Those are your supply and demand areas. Supply means it's where it's sold off, and demand is where it bought up. There's nothing hard about that at all.
Yeah. Like, I literally spend all of, I don't know, 5-10 minutes talking about supply and demand. I don't mind really quick. I'm not going to use this pair as an example, though, because it's creating so many new highs and lows. Because, I mean, it's still fairly new. Let me go to Cash App, something that I actually called in my Telegram a few weeks back.
Oh, yeah, I took that trade.
Yeah.
And had JPY together.
Yep. So we made really, really nice money off of that, right? So going to my daily time frame, I love supply and demand on the daily. Let me delete everything. All right. Now, all I gotta do is look left. What was that? See how every time it came to this area, drop, 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 drop. Like, this was like super easy. It's like robbing a bank right here. See that? This is a critical supply zone, right? This is a zone for sellers. And Gigi broke it down to me one day where it's like, because like I told y'all, I'm very, very simple, dude. The easy way for me to remember it, like this, like I'm finna show y'all, I'm finna tell y'all the difference. Like how I always used to remember the difference between supply and demand, right? Supply, the letter S, you know, supply starts with S. In the supply zone, I'm looking to sell. Sell starts with S, right? That's how I remembered it. And then demand is just the opposite. Demand zones, which is right down here, are buys, right? I just know it's the opposite of S. I mean, of you either selling or you buying. So I know down here, I'm looking to buy. Up here, because I'm in a supply zone, I'm looking to sell, right? Now, Gigi, she hit me with the, and it just makes sense. But again, I'm so simple, I'm just taking like 2 alphabet words. But she said, when you're supplying something, if I have something, I'm supplying it, what am I doing it? I'm selling it to you, right? Here, take this. I'm supplying you something. I'm supplying you goods. And if I'm in a demand zone, I'm demanding something. So if I'm demanding, what am I trying to do? I want to buy your goods, right? So now that she gave me the more educational part on it, now I look at it like that now. But at first, I looked at it so basic, but that's all it is. You just like every time frame has supply and demand zones. I personally only look at the daily and in the 4 hour. Well, the weekly and the daily for the most part. I never go lower than the 4 hour because with these zones are easy to break as you go farther down the time frames. So every time price came on my daily time frame, I love the daily over them all because the daily happens more frequently than the weekly, and it's still a lot of pips, right? And it's harder to break. So that right there, 400 pips. That right here, 200, 200, 300. That's it, right? I'm still holding this on one of my accounts right now from, hey, October. I'm still holding it. We caught it from the very top. We literally caught it right here. So when I called it, hold on. Give me 1 second, go to the 4 hour. Take all them blue lines and stuff off. We called it, oh yeah, this is what we called it. I was on a 1 hour. 1 hour time frame, and then it had broke right there. So we caught it from pretty much the top. We caught it from right here. Once it broke here, flag, gave us that continuation. And then if you go to the daily, go to the daily time frame. I drew my daily trend line just like that. No, I'm sorry, not like that. Drew my daily trend line like this. And this is when I pulled most orders, because at the time, you know, it was possible that it could have shot back up. So I took most profits, kept some because I knew the potential because of the zone we was in, right? And sure enough, it flagged. And what did it do? Broke through.
Broke through.
Exactly. So now that it broke through, what is price doing since it broke?
Correcting.
It's correcting.
There you go. It's gonna retest what? That trend. That's it. Now, what's the market is closed right now. What's a great confirmation why I say it's about to do what it's about to do? Can anybody tell me?
Your engulfing candle.
Engulfing candle.
Bingo. God Lord, y'all, this is ridiculous. How y'all get this that fast? Guess why? Because it's not hard. It's not.
I think people just see how much money can be made with Forex, so they expect it to be hard in the back of their mind.
And that's exactly what it is. That's how I used to make this thing hard. And I always say used to, like it was 20 years ago. It was probably like man, I laugh at myself, man, because it's like, bro, you only been doing this for a year and a half. And I'm talking about, like, literally I would pay to go to trainings where I didn't even know what current price was. Anytime they say this price thing, what is this price stuff they talking about? What is price? What are you talking about? And nobody ever explained to me. It's the previous it's the last candle on the time frame. It's that candle right there, right? So don't think like you'll never understand this. You'll never get this. You all see me now and hear me now. Oh, T-Banks, this and that, right? Trust me, I was in your same exact boat. Don't give up. Stop counting yourself down. Stuff like that. It's literally that easy. And we ain't this, that. If you know what this is, and you know what this is, trust me, you can really succeed at this thing. You really succeed.
Is the flag due on all time frames?
Yes. What happens on one time frame happens on them all. So
flag impulse correction is due on every single time frame.
Exactly. And the bigger the bigger the time frame, it just takes longer for the big time frames to flag. Right? So if my 1 minute needed a flag, hey, that may take 6-7 minutes. All I'm gonna do is get an impulse. Then my 1 minute, I guess 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. Then what? Continuation, right? But guess what? My daily needs a flag, impulse, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, 7 day, 8 day, 9. That's a week. Does that make sense? It just takes longer.
It does.
Yep.
That's it. That's why I say understanding time frames is just all you need to know. So in this daily flag, guess what? This daily flag called my 1 hour to do what? Uptrend. It's a couple hundred pips in this flag right here. This probably maybe 3 pips. No difference. Patience.
I have a question, Terrell. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
When you're marking up your zones for like the weekly or the daily, are you doing it from body to wick?
My
Or
zones
does it-
on the honestly,
Supply zones and stuff like that.
I'm gonna be real with you, and I use this for strictly teaching purposes. When I'm literally like here by myself and I'm trading, I can literally look at. Give me 1 second. Like, look at that. Do I need a rectangle or any type of thing to know I'm in what type of zone?
No.
Yeah, all I'm doing is looking left. That's it. Looking left right here, I can just tell I'm in the supply zone. So I personally don't look at like wicks and all of that, or come here and say, let me take this and drag this here, make sure it's touching that candle. Told you I'm basic. I keep things nice and simple. I can look at this and be like, oh man, I'm in a crazy supply zone. Every time price in this area, I'm getting drops. I just see it. Again, like I'm just literally, the reason why I just took that rectangle is teaching purposes.
Yeah, you'll get to where you need less and less. The more you chart, the less you're going to end up needing. I used to have all that stuff on my chart, and I don't anymore.
Right, exactly. But to answer your question, you don't have to, don't focus on like putting on wicks and all of that. Some people will tell you to grab the engulfing and move it. Honestly, all you got to do is get the zone. Because like if I can do this, I'm not wrong. Or I can do this and I'm not wrong. There's no difference. It's still a supply zone. You know what I'm saying? You just want to be aware of the zones that you're currently in. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Guys, and one thing we were taught by our mentor, before every move, there's a pattern. And if you don't see the pattern or the structure on one time frame, always go to another. But Terrell, I need to ask you a favor. Michael's saying something's not clicking. He wants to know if you'll walk through a chart with him like you did with someone earlier and like let him identify where you are.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I'm gonna have. Give me 1 second. I was just reading somebody comment too all the time. So can I mark? Yeah. So is he able to share his
Michael,
screen?
did you want him to do like he did with the other young lady and ask you what to do, or do you want to share your screen?
Yes, please. The first one.
The first one? Oh, so you want me to? Okay. So why don't people trade off the 1 minute more often? Because it's confusing. That's why. You all don't get caught up in trying to trade off the 1 minute. Get good at the skill set first. I don't like to promote the 1 minute because, yeah, you get tighter entries, but like it takes some skills to get all the way down to the 1 minute. So don't just come off that, but just understand that it is possible, right? And I don't trade off the 1 minute. I would enter off the 1 minute. I always trade off the 1 hour. I would never, like, what do I care about getting in the trade off the 1 minute so I can catch 3 pips? It's like not even worth getting in the trade, right? So anyways, Michael, can you hear me, bro?
I can, thank you.
Okay, give me a pair. Shoot one at me.
GJ?
We already did that. Shoot another one. Let's go to UCAD. Let's do that.
Yeah, UCAD.
All right. Cool. So you said you're confused. Before we start, tell me exactly what part do you think you're confused at?
I don't know where you're drawing these lines at. You start on the monthly or the weekly?
You tell me.
Monthly?
There you go. Why do I start on the monthly?
Top-down analysis?
Nah, it sounds like you said that because it sounds good. Tell me. Don't talk to me. Tell me.
You want to see the direction of the trend?
Okay. What else? No, it's okay. If you don't know, it's okay to tell me you don't know. I'm completely good with that. I just want you to keep.
Trend is what came to my mind. Is you start on the monthly to determine the trend.
Okay, so that's what you got?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not completely wrong. But remember, on the monthly, I don't really care about the trend anyways. But the reason why we start on the monthly is because everything happens inside of the monthly, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah, because I heard you say one time before it was the monthly, it was the weekly. Before it was the weekly, it was the daily.
Technically, I just want to make sure I clear it up for everybody else that's on here as well. The reason why the monthly is because in a monthly candle, I have weeks that happen in that candle. And in those weeks, I had days that happen in those candles. And in those days, I had 4 hours that happened. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you always want to, the top one is the monthly. That's why it's that important overall. Yeah, you're not wrong at all when you say top-down analysis. But again, people can say things all the time just to say them, not really understanding them. I want you to understand. If you can understand time frames, this trading thing would be a breeze to you. Trust me.
That's
So
what I'm here for. This is my Hail Mary.
there you go. So that's why I want you to make sure you understand that before we continue to go. Again, it's me and you talking right now, right? So
Got it.
does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So now I drop down to my monthly, right? Now on my monthly, I just look to box price in, right? This is current price. I'm just looking for the highs and the lows. High, low, right there. Can we agree on that?
That's your previous high?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Previous high right here,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now drop down to my weekly. From my weekly down, what am I looking for? Michael?
Trend?
You asking or you telling?
Asking.
Yeah, looking for the trend. So remember I told you earlier to make sure y'all write that down? Did you write it down? From the trend down, from the weekly down, I'm looking for my trends.
Okay.
But does it make sense? Don't just write it down just because, like, the reason why you write it down so you can go back later and remember, like, okay, but right now I wanted you to make sure you understand what I mean by that. So I'm looking for my trend. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what type of trend am I in based on my weekly?
Well, if that last candle is price, are you in an uptrend?
This last candle is price. You talking about this right here, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You're not wrong. So I am in an uptrend, but where do I start my uptrend at?
From that bottom green.
From here?
Oh.
No, don't.
No.
Oh, I'm asking.
No.
Not okay. From here?
No.
Here?
No.
Here?
No, over to the right.
To the right?
Come over an inch. 2 inches to the right. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, right there.
So this is my trend.
Well, that's what I thought was the beginning of the uptrend.
Okay. No.
Am I wrong?
Yep, you are. And that's fine. That's why we going over it. That's why I want you to tell me instead of me telling you. Again, when you wrong, when you see you're wrong about something, you like, oh, okay. You start remembering I was wrong the last time on that. Make sure I don't do it. So there's nothing wrong with being wrong. So I just want y'all to understand that. Like, I love being wrong. That's how you, yeah, right? So this is your uptrend. Remember, Gigi spoke perfectly about this earlier. Multiple touches. You see, just think of a basketball. I'm not sure if we got any basketball fans on here, anybody who knows about basketball watches it, but just think of you bouncing the ball. This bounced off the trend line. Guess what? Kane pretty much bounced off the trend line, bounced off the trend line, dribbling the ball.
So you went to the previous lowest low.
Exactly. That's it. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now, can we both agree that we're in an uptrend on the weekly?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now what do we do?
Go to the daily.
Bingo. Now what do I do on my daily? From the weekly down, I do what? Hello?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Look at your notes. Take your time.
You draw the trend again?
Okay. You telling me or you asking me?
Asking.
What your notes say?
I didn't write it down. I watched the screen. If I write it down, I take my eyes off the screen, I lose it.
It's me and you right now, so you ain't got to worry about losing nothing. I'm waiting on you. So if you got to write it down, take your time, write it down, and then come back and we'll get it. We'll move forward after you write it down.
Okay, so we're on the daily.
Mm-hmm. So remember, from your weekly down, you're looking for what?
Trend.
Your trend, correct? So we found our uptrend on the weekly. Then you told me we dropped down to the daily. So now what do I look for on the daily? Still there?
Yeah.
No, take your time. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Terrell. This is why I'm here.
Okay, cool. No, look, again, don't be sorry. So remember, from the weekly down, like I told you to make sure you write down, from the weekly down, you start looking for trends. Like you got that part already. You said that.
I wrote
so
it.
Now I'm on the weekly. I drop down to my daily, right? So just like I look for my trend on my weekly, I do the exact same thing on my daily. I just look for a trend on the daily. Because remember, every time frame has its story. So I'm on my daily time frame. Can you tell me what trend do I see on my daily?
It looks to me like a tighter uptrend from that bottom green.
You're looking at this.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with looking at that, but I want you to look at the bigger picture. Remember, you're on a bigger time frame. So the bigger time frame, and again, all you're doing, what we're here for is for you all to train your eyes. The bigger picture shows me this downtrend. Does that make sense? No, makes sense.
Why did you choose that candle to draw your downtrend?
Because I got multiple touches coming from this candle. Boom, boom, and you can almost pretty much say that one. Does that make sense?
Is that considered the previous high?
Yeah, I mean, because like if I came here, guess what? I'll be going through. I don't want to go through, right? I want it as clean as possible. I want what? Basketball touches. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I want it to bounce off this trend line. These are bouncing right now. Bounced here, bounced there. Look, guess what? Another bounce. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So now we've determined based off of our daily, we have a downtrend. So remember, weekly right here, uptrend. Daily here, downtrend. Drop down to my 4 hour. Now, matter of fact, no, I'm not even gonna go ahead yet. What am I seeing on my 4 hour? What type of trend? Don't run away. Don't run away from me now, Michael. You almost there.
Would that be an uptrend from
exactly like the same? Yeah, the same low. The same low you've been alluding to this whole time. Now you see how much you see how you can clearly see this uptrend now in your 4 hour time frame from when we was on our weekly and our daily. You saw the same thing, right? You saw this on the daily. You saw this still, right? But as you go down in time frames, that same trend is even more clearer now. That lets me know I'm in the 4 hour uptrend. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Don't make sense? Does make sense? Where you at with it? Talk to me.
It does. Why did you start at the? Well, when we started looking at the monthly, we said it was a downtrend, and now that we're at the 4 hour, we're in an uptrend.
Because every time frame has its stories. Remember, the trend lines are just to help you box price in. It's your GPS, right? So because it's your GPS, you just using the trend lines as you break down time frames, you're boxing it in even more. You're just condensing it down. Remember, you're in that bedroom and the walls are closing in on you. That's it. All we're doing with the trend lines, they're closing in on price. Does that make sense?
Okay. I'm trying to process it all. Go ahead. So we go down to the
okay. So
1 hour now?
Huh?
Do we go down to the 1 hour now?
Yeah, but before we go down to the 1 hour, I want to make sure that you got it to the 4 hour. You understand it. So if you don't understand why, look, I'm going to take this trend line here, right? This trend line right here that I drew on my daily, this is the trend line I drew on my weekly. you see how now both of these trend line has box price in to where now all we have is this room left. This is all we have left now. It's been condensed down to this area. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see it, but what does it mean?
That means it doesn't mean anything just yet, but you understand this is what you have to work with. Does that make sense?
All right.
Okay. So going down to my 1 hour. What do I see on my 1 hour? What is this right here? We talked about this almost all this morning.
A flag?
Not a flag.
Correction?
A flag is a correction, so it's not a correction.
An uptrend?
Reversal pattern. It is an ascending channel. Remember, ascending channels,
Oh,
impulse,
yes.
and it leans that direction. What was this? An impulse?
Impulse.
Exactly, right? So I know based off of what I'm looking at on UCAD, I'm looking for what? We got the breakthrough, came back, retested. Somebody asked, what's a retest? When it comes back, once it breaks through something and it pulls back, aka a flag, and hits that area it broke through, and then guess what? Continuation. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You sure? It's gonna take practice. Don't think you're gonna get it all. But this is one thing I wanted to allude to earlier before we went to go all the way through it. What's our most important candlestick?
The last one, that's where price is for now, because the market's closed.
What's the last one called though? Anybody want to help Michael out?
An engulfing candle.
There you go. And what is it doing right here on our daily?
What is it doing?
All right, what did it do on our daily?
Retested.
It engulfed the previous candle.
Exactly, it engulfed. So it's engulfing right now.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it engulfed yesterday, I should say. So guess what? Not only is my 1 hour telling me I'm looking for a sell, why? Because I'm at an ascending channel and it broke through. But hey, my confirmation was my higher time frame with this engulfing candle. Not to mention, this was a flag. All this was a flag off of this daily downtrend. Now I'm heading down. And then I'll be looking at price again right here in this area from this weekly trend line. That's it. This area right here. So I know I got a good sale coming down to at least right here in that area. Make sense? I was thinking the same thing from the green, blah, blah.
Hey, Terrell, let me say something to Michael real quick. Because one thing he said, I think I know why he's confused. He said, but you said on the monthly, it's an overall buy. Just remember, Michael, in that monthly, you're going to have buys and sales. So if it's an overall buy on the monthly and your weekly is selling, that's just a correction of your overall buy. So just don't forget that there's going to be the impulse correction continuation on every single time frame.
Yeah, and you watching this video is going to get you stuff is going to start clicking. Like, you're not just going to understand it just one time seeing it. You have to see it multiple times when it start rushing. You just heard a few people on here just really get that aha moment. And I guarantee you this isn't their first time looking at something when it came to the Forex or looking when it came to trading, right?
Well, that's why I asked if I could mark up a chart, because I was hoping it would help me
see it.
See it. Hear the word. Hear the music and see the words.
Okay. Gigi, do you want? Before we do that, give me a second. Let me see. Once I rewatch it, it's gonna really click. Yeah, good job. Oh yeah.
I can promise y'all, you mark up these 25 charts every Saturday, it gets so easy. The first few times when I had to turn in my homework for drawing trend lines, I didn't get it the first couple times. I had to go back and redo some of my charts and talking it out to yourself. Impulse, correction, continuation. If you know you're in the buy on the monthly, And the weekly's in a buy. When that weekly comes into a sell and hits that trend line, that's your correction.
Right. Yep. So remember, like, it's just pinball. Like, all Price did was not, UCAD was like the easiest. Like, look at this, right? And I'm gonna just show you all how I use the same analysis. I'm gonna delete all of this so you all not confused, all right? Now, this is the 1 hour time frame. So let's pretend, well, we're not even gonna pretend at this point. I'm gonna just break this down as if the market is open, right? And it's moving. So, matter of fact, take that off as well. This is the best way to break all of this down. Now, I have my, at this very moment, I'm gonna go to the 4 hour, right? So I'm at the 4 hour. This is, let's pretend this is October 29th, whatever, right? So this is October 29th, and this is literally how the market looks. And I'll start marking up my chart, right? Understand I had a flag here, flag here, flag here. So on the back of my head, I'm looking for a flag here. Like, this was literally me on October 29th when I was looking at UCAD, right? So now I drop down to my 1 hour. Now on my 1 hour, participation. What do I see on my 1 hour? Somebody tell me.
Descending channel.
Descending channel.
Descending channel, right? Reversal. Now, do you think it's an accident that price came down to this weekly trend line and it descended like that? Do you think that's an accident?
No.
No.
Not at all, right?
Nope.
Not at all. So price came down to that weekly trend line and it descended, right? So remember, based off of my 4 hour, 1 hour, what does my 4 hour, 1 hour tell me? Remember, my monthly, weekly, daily tells me XYZ. 4 hour, 1 hour tells
When the move is
It
ready.
tells you
When it's ready for a buy or a sell.
Exactly. So remember, based off of my higher time frames, I knew I was looking for a what?
A buy.
I knew I was looking for a buy. When I was on my daily, guess what? I knew I was looking for a buy. Why? Because this needed a flag. Just like that flag, this flag, right? I knew I was looking for a buy. Jump down to my 4 hour. What did I see on my 4 hour and 1 hour time frames?
Descending channel.
The descending channel.
So guess what? That's telling me what? My buy is starting to be ready, right? It's starting to be ready. So now at this point, this is literally what I would do. I will have an alert. This is my current low of my channel. So I will have an alert right here at the low, at my current low, which is right there, add alert. And then I will also put an alert at a possible new low, because remember, it is a reversal descending channel. It can create a new low. So all I would do is put something like this, and I just add an alert there. That's it. Does it mean price gonna go there? No. Doesn't mean that. Add an alert. Alert created is not, oh yeah, I can't do it on replay mode, duh. But anyways, so I put an alert there and at the current low. So clearly you see, bing, 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 I got an alert. Price has crossed XYZ, right? So price crossed there, and when price crossed there, guess what I do? Drop down to bingo, my smaller time frame, right? Because remember, on my smaller time frame, I'm looking for what?
Entries.
My entries. So I just start looking for my entry. But anyways, not to get into the entry part, just letting you all know at that moment, I start looking to enter. So let's say I enter, boom. What did I just get right there?
An impulse and a flag.
Exactly. I got the breakthrough. So even if I did not catch this, let's say I did catch it. That's cool. I get the breakthrough, right? Bingo. I'm in profit. I'm in nice profits. I'm risk-free, right? But I officially got that breakthrough. What is price currently doing?
It's correcting and gonna retest.
Exactly. That's confirmation for me to do what? Look for another entry. Hold on, let me speed this up some. It was going too fast at first. Now it's going too slow. All right. So I enter. I look to enter wherever in that spot. Boom. Right. Another impulse, correct?
Correct.
What's happening now?
Another flag.
There you
Another
go.
flag.
There you go. So I can tell prices correcting. This is what happened on CAD news when we got that CAD chef and all of that. That was that big move, right? So now confirmation, look at the pattern. Like Gigi stated, correction is going to give you a pattern. So in that time somewhere, remember, I'm still holding these, but I'm taking profits too. I probably could have closed out. Guess what I can do? Put another order in somewhere in here once I determine where is like the low of my flag or my best possible entry in the flag, and I'm just waiting. Remember, I'm on a 1 hour, so every time you see this move, this is 1 hour. So these are days. Do you have the patience to do that? Right? Now, flag, 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 keep flagging. Remember, I've entered the market. Again, I've been entered it, but I entered it again in that flag. Now I'm at the top of that flag. Now it's coming down, going back to the bottom. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit more. No, I ain't gonna speed it up. I'm gonna just keep letting it ride, right?
Y'all, this replay button, when people ask what is back testing, this is back testing. This is how you learn.
What just happened?
You got your impulse. I mean, your correction. I mean, continuation.
Exactly. See how
You got your
out of that flag?
Mm-hmm.
Now remember, I entered again. So at this point, how many times am I possibly in?
Three
different times where I could have got into that buy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect
cool.
sense.
There you go. So now I'm still in. I got in. We're going to play again. This was literally this week. At this point,
Ascending channel.
Ascending channel.
Oh, exactly. So at this point, guess what? Once I start seeing this form, guess what? All of these orders,
Time to get out.
It's time to get out.
I'm gone. Right? Now, guess what? What am I looking for?
A sale.
A sale.
Bingo. That's it.
Boom.
That's it.
You got in at the bottom of that channel down there, and
Mhm.
you wrote it all the way up. But in the meanwhile, you had pullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Account have to be able to handle the pullbacks while you wrote it all the way up before the market started to reverse at the
So
ascending
let me
channel.
ask you this: Why did my account have to be able to handle this pullback if I enter here?
You had to leverage, right?
No,
He had made a profit. Major profit.
Exactly.
He made a lot of profit already.
Right. Why do I have to worry about price pulling back up here if I got in down here?
It
You
paid
don't.
for itself.
Exactly.
You're
I
not.
don't. At this point, I'm risk free.
And there's no drawdown and everything.
Exactly. I'm risk free.
In the blue, baby, in the blue.
That's it. At this point, I'm man, my phone in my pocket. I'm at the gym. I'm kicking it. I'm out for drinks. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And I'm not worried about price pulling back.
So you have that trend line. You're saying you're looking for a sell here, and there's that trend line above there. Why wouldn't you look for price to go up to that top trend line?
Talking about this one?
Yes.
Remember, like I said, I did. Right? I did. It's possible. When you see this channel happening, and pretty much it's at the trend line. If you want to put this was the top wick, it's 5 pips. So 5 pips from hitting that actual line. Remember, the market isn't looking at this line right here. This line is imaginary to the market. The line is for us. It's our GPS, right? All I need to see was this reversal pattern. At that point, me being an experienced trader, I'm looking to enter at the high of this pattern. Remember, this was the current high. So that's an alert there. Just like I put an alert here and then an alert at a possible new low, I got an alert here and a possible new high. There's no difference. You can flip this upside down. This is gonna look just like, matter of fact. Hold on. Not flip. Let me rotate it. Flip it back. Mirror. There we go. Now flip. Hold on. That ain't right. Maybe flip it back. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yep. And now all of this is, remember, this is descending channel. This is this ascending channel. And then you just take this. Maybe I should have deleted all of this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just remove that and do it over again. I'm gonna try this again, all right? Don't beat me up. Flip. This is that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna now take this. Rotate it. Plain and simple. Just like that. It's the same exact thing. It just flipped upside down. Does that make sense?
Yes. How do you draw that projected line? Where do you get it from?
What do you mean?
The blue line, the blue that you put in there, that you drew.
The ghost.
The ghost.
Oh, just right here. Ghost pattern 2. Bars pattern, I'm sorry. Bars pattern 2.
And just know y'all don't need to know how to use that unless you're gonna start teaching people.
Yeah, like y'all, don't get, whatever. This is for visual. This is visual purposes for you all.
Don't start overthinking stuff. You're never gonna need that unless you're just teaching people.
Right.
Okay.
These are visuals for you all. Like, I want you all to understand that the market is doing what it already did before. So literally what you're gonna see, what I'm projecting to see sometime down the line, come next week, we're gonna get an impulse right here in this area, some type of big flag. Why do I say that? Look at this, all right? Flag and a continuation. That's it. That is it.
Yes, and don't overthink it, guys. You're just following the impulse, correction, continuation until you see signs of reversal at significant resistant levels.
Yeah.
It hit his upper resistance. And it also gave us an ascending channel. That's a red flag to get out. It didn't just make that ascending channel in the middle of nowhere. It made it at his upper trend line.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. Does everybody understand that?
Gigi?
Yes, yes.
The entry point was down below where this flag is at the bottom.
That's a descending channel at the bottom, and then a flag inside of he went to a lower time frame. Remember, he's analyzing. The 1 hour is telling him to get in. Then he went down to like his 5 or 15 minute inside that descending channel and got his entry.
Okay.
Don't focus too much on your entry. Again, we're gonna go over that tomorrow.
Okay, and so I guess right in this flag in the middle, I would have thought it was pulling back, and I wouldn't have wrote it all the way up. I would have got nervous.
No, that's a flag. That's not a reversal pattern. A flag is a continuation pattern.
Okay.
Remember, today we want you to make sure you know exactly where you are in the market.
No. I think she's talking about right here. You're talking about right here, correct? You would have got scared?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let me. What did Gigi allude to earlier today, this morning?
Regarding
flags.
It's a correction or
it
for
is a
continuation for a continuation or breakout.
Remember this training here is to train your eyes, right? So
Right.
think about that before I'm gonna ask again.
Okay.
Training your eyes. what did she say about corrections or about flags?
That we're looking for continuation for a breakout. A flag is a correction.
Right, a flag is a correction, right? But remember how she said that impulses gives you no pattern?
Right.
And remember, this is the impulse. There was no pattern. That just went straight up.
Right.
But what did this flag give me?
The flag gave you a breakout.
No, the flag gave me a pattern. You see this, all of this?
Right.
You see that?
Right.
You see how this flag gave me a pattern? This was an impulse, no pattern. It just went straight down. See how this is sketchy, right? Giving me that pattern like that. See how this is giving me that pattern? Okay. So again, you said you would have got scared, which is no problem. At the end of the day, never be greedy. So if you up X amount of dollars and you whatever, take your money and run, whatever. You still learning, right? Why not take some money and, you know what I'm saying, enjoy yourself with it or whatever while you're still learning. Don't never be mad for pulling your profits. Never be mad for, like, you can always hit buy or sell again, right? That's number one. But number two, if I'm holding this trade, I understand this was my impulse to move. Yeah, it pulled all the way back here. But guess what? I don't really care too much for the simple fact that I can understand this is a pattern for me. So as it continues to form and more and more and more and going more and more and more, I understand this is a flag, right?
Right.
So the flag is a confirmation for, like you just said, the continuation. So I knew if I enter here and this is happening, even though from here and it shot up here, I may have been up $300. Now I'm up $50. Right? Now I'm gonna just take my 50. Nah, I know this is a flag. Clear as day is a flag for me. So guess what? Instead of me taking $50 and instead of taking it at 300, now I'm up 700.
Right.
I see this pattern form and I'm gone.
So that's what it is that I didn't see.
Yeah, that's all. You just you using more emotion than more knowledge, and that's fine. I did that. I made $16,000 a day. I made $16,000 in a day.
Right.
And when I did that, I was using my emotions at the time, not my knowledge. I ain't never made $16,000 in a day before. You know how excited I was? Got my money and ran. I had to realize, like, dang, dummy, you know this. You know it's about to keep going down.
So with me, it's not the emotion, it's what I'm not seeing. I feel like I'm not seeing everything you're seeing.
Well, you're not seeing it now because you're learning. Right. So you're using, because you're not seeing it now because you're learning, you're using your emotion.
Right.
You're attached to the money and not the knowledge. The knowledge is coming. It's fine.
One thing you need to know up front, these flags and ascending channels, they're never going to be perfect. See, you're seeing an ugly flag. You're not going to see a perfect flag.
Yeah.
One out of 100 might be perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a perfect flag. Oh, my Lord, this is a perfect flag.
And the more you chart, the more you'll see they're not perfect.
Yeah, and I know it's not emotional because I will just not trade. I'll just keep learning. So,
well, I think you taking it the wrong way when we say emotional. It's not emotional as far as like you care, but
I just want to see it.
Right. So, like right here, this right here is a perfect flag. Right here, perfect. Right. Right. So
I had a question on that last.
What time is it? Oh, we almost
done.
Yeah. What's up? What's your question? Now let's go through Q&A now. Q&A.
I was going to ask a question in terms. Would you go back to that previous chart you were on?
You can. Okay.
So if I were in this buy, I mean, I understand everything you've shown us, but if I were in it, when it went to you see where your cursor was? Well, maybe that was my cursor. But with the first flag that formed after it broke out of the channel.
Right here?
Okay, yeah. And it started moving its way up. I'm thinking the whole time in my mind, I'm looking left, and I'm going to say to myself, well, the last time it was at this high, that's where I'm going to get out. I'd be afraid. I would be afraid to go beyond that. See at the top of your top trend line, back up to the left. No, down. The original. Yeah, right. When it got that high, I'd be saying to myself, "Oh, I need to get out of it."
Okay.
So I don't know. Even if it, I don't know. I don't know how to handle that thinking.
No, okay. So you got two things. Well, how many? Yeah, two things I can think off the top of the head right now. Even if you've seen this, guess what this is? This is a TP.
Right.
To take profit. So
Right.
you're not wrong for getting out of it. If I was to literally give out this trade, I'm looking for this is a possible area price can come to, right? This is literally going on my signal. 1.31430 is literally going, like I'm literally typing that in so everybody can copy and paste it as one of the TPs. So number one, you're not wrong, correct?
Right.
I mean, not correct, but understand that?
Right.
Okay, so now the next thing is you're saying, and again, just so everybody else can understand, price was like this, remember? So with price being this aggressive, it blew past where you would have got out at and got nervous. It blew past it.
Right.
So would you really got nervous?
Well, knowing me, I probably would.
I mean, no,
He's only been trading like 2 months. It'll start making sense.
Okay.
No, I mean, yeah, but think logically though. You saying probably, but if you know good enough that price came here, and you like, man, once it get here, this and that happened. But look how it blew past. It just blew past. You wouldn't even have time to even register price came here unless you had this set as your take profit.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done is I would have went ahead and preset it at that level.
So you would have did that. But then the very next hour, it blew past again. So now at this point, you're not even thinking about this area if you stayed in there.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Okay, cool. So any other questions?
I might be digging a little bit, but like that flag that everyone is concerned with, is it because it has such a big impulse that it was a big flag?
Yeah.
Could that be the case?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The bigger the impulse, the bigger the flag.
Okay.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes. If you have a really big impulse, you typically have a really big flag following it.
So Terrell, that had nothing to do with news, that big shoot up like that?
Yeah, it did. I told you all, this is USD CAD. Matter of fact, do you all a favor. Look at this, right? Look at the date. That date says October 30th, 2019. Right here, right? Remember we said we caught CAD Chef? Let's go back to it. CAD JPY too. The CAD Chef. Look at that. What date was this?
October 19th.
No, that's 2019.
Oh, yeah.
October 30th. That was CAD News. CAD News got very weak. So it shot CAD Chef down and it shot USD CAD up.
Oh. Wouldn't have mentioned that. Yeah.
That's it. So if I go to October 30th on any CAD pair, CAD JPY, guess what? October 30th, what was this?
A drop.
Boom.
16.
That's it. That is it. No secrets. No secrets.
Do you always watch the news too, Terrell, when you trade, before you trade, fundamental?
Not always. I like to see what's going on for the week though. So like Sunday or Monday when I'm marking up, I would go and check and see what we got. So I understand that going into next week, I look, see what we got throughout the week. Click more. I know I got USD news next Wednesday, Thursday. I just keep mental notes. Friday is heavy EUR news. CAD news, this will move for CAD on Friday, so expect that to really move. But I'm not like literally, I'm not basing my trading off of news. I just keep mental notes. That's it.
So if I knew news was coming out on CAD Friday, I would want to wait to enter any trades Friday until the news came out. Is that the way you would do it?
Me personally, depending on what I'm seeing, depending on what I'm looking for, then I would trade news. Like I would literally wait minutes before getting in this and that. But theoretically, let's say CAD, I'm in USD CAD. I just told you how I'm expecting to sell. What can happen come CAD news. Let's go back to US CAD real quick. So this entire week, guess what? What's coming up, I could be getting a drop, and then price get somewhere down in this area, looking left, right?
Right.
Somewhere in this area, that area, or even this area, CAD comes, boom, and starts to shoot it back up. Breaks through that trend, right? And then we'll be looking for another back and forth, right?
Right.
So that's what can happen. You know what I'm saying? So I just be very cautious. I'm just very cautious when it comes to news, especially if I know news is coming out for that actual currency. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty simple.
Thank you for answering the questions.
Oh, no problem.
Because you could look at the videos as long as you want, but if you don't have somebody confirming what you're seeing or correcting what you're not seeing, you know, it's just helpful to have somebody answering them.
Exactly. No, I completely understand. I completely understand. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys.
I have a question. Like on the last impulse, just curious as to how you handle it to take the profit. Like the one gentleman said, you could put a take profit there, or would you let it ride up and just have a trailing stop?
Well, remember we talked about how we have a topic with compounding. Let that happen. We gonna get there. Like what our main focus right now. Make sure you all understand why I saw that. Like what I saw. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so we definitely like, and trust me, I typically never, outside of my private students, I don't even teach them how. You can ask Gigi. I don't teach people how to, like, this is not even one of my bootcamp, my personal bootcamp courses that I teach is my compounding. So something special I got for y'all. And the last day we will be going over that. So don't worry. I'll explain that as well, how I do that.
Hi, Terrell. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When do you know your flag is done? When do you know that? Do you know that?
That'll come with entries.
I didn't even hear the question.
He's asking about when you think the flags are, when you know the flags are done.
Oh yeah, that comes with entries. Just understand.
I'm gonna tell y'all, this is a lot to absorb. It probably doesn't look. We don't want you confused, and we want you to get one topic solidified at a time instead of trying to. We don't want you to cram everything in and then get confused.
Yeah.
That's why we broke it up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, hey, it's hard trying to get all of this in a week and process it. That's why we got recordings for you all, because you're not gonna learn and understand everything after today. Right? You're gonna have to go back and watch those videos, and I'm pretty sure it's a few of you all still on here. Like, man, I'm confused. Right? You have to trust yourself and understand we have the best interest for you all. Right? You're not gonna get everything, and just this week that we're having everything. So you definitely don't want to try to cram all of this in 4 hours, 2 hours in the day. You know what I'm saying? Take your time and process everything. Mark up your charts. Do just strictly focus on structure, and then everything else will start coming. We're just gonna add pieces to it. That's it.
Gigi?
Yes.
When we started off at the beginning of the session, when you went from the month, down to the daily, I would have thought that that's the way you would mark up charts, but then some people will just start at the daily and mark down.
If you know the market well enough,
you
can do that. But if your weekly is in a downtrend and your daily is in an uptrend, you got to know when that uptrend is going to be over.
Yeah.
Right. So I would have been writing down rules going, okay, you start monthly, weekly, daily, then you go down. And so I realized that people start at different places of their comfort or their understanding of the market, or where they are in the market.
Yeah, I still start on the monthly.
Okay.
I'm never not going to look at the monthly.
Okay.
Ever, ever.
Okay.
Like I said, if my weekly is a downtrend and then my daily is going up, I need to know that that daily push up is going to be short-lived.
Okay.
Okay.
So I need to write my rules down and stay consistent.
Yes, we always start with monthly, weekly, daily. Just like
Okay.
Terrell showed you, he looked at the monthly first.
Mhm.
And I typed it in the chat. He looked at his monthly to box it in, his high and his low. On his weekly, he did his
Right.
trend line.
Mhm.
And then he looked at his trend on the daily after that. And you'll see it on the recording.
Okay.
Trust me, when I took these boot camps and these private mentorings, I watched the sessions over and over and I mimicked what I saw.
Okay.
This is going to take you're just because you took this boot camp doesn't mean next week you're going to know how to do this. This means next week you need to be marking up 25 charts consistently every week until you get this.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It'll come.
I know.
All right. It's a little after 3 and we got to start back up at 10 o'clock in the morning on entries. Grant processes the recording, so give him time to do that. He wants to make sure you have the best possible recording, and he will give you guys the link to the recording. All right.
10 a.m. Eastern Standard.
Yes, everything's Eastern. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Same schedule, except tomorrow, and then I'll share my screen. This is in the chat, guys. So there it is right there. That's the schedule. If you go to Discord under announcements, it's all there. Okay. That's the schedule we're trying to follow.
So I just didn't see the time zone. That's what.
Yeah, I did it in the announcements, but yeah, I put it in the announcements.
Okay.
No
Alrighty.
worries. No worries.
Thank
We're
you.
all here to learn.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any questions before we end, guys? I want to thank Terrell for his time today. Thank you all for your participation. Don't feel overwhelmed because this is a lot, but this is what makes 6-figure traders when you do this and you're consistent. So you're not going to make 6 figures in the next week or two, but you just need consistency and follow the rules. All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Terrell. Thanks, Gigi.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Terrell.
Terrell, it was great.
Gigi.
It was awesome.
Thank you,
All
Grant.
right. Don't forget, guys, the
Thank you.
Discord group there is also, you can talk to each other, bounce ideas off of each other, help each other out. Okay. We're all a team in this. I'm not going to shut down the Discord group when the boot camp's over. It's going to be there for you guys to utilize. Okay.